What's up? Founders Field Notes episode. I think we're on 4 now. If you're new round here, all this is a series I'm doing, and it's basically a video diary every week. What it's like to start an AI startup with absolutely no experience in startups or AI. So anyway, if you're new around here, my name is Tom Ford. I'm a business owner stroke entrepreneur. I really hate using that word, but it is the most appropriate word. I run a handful of small businesses, and I have recently started a AI business with a business partner, a friend of mine, called Life Coach AI. What it is it's a life coach app, like an AI. The plan is to democratize coaching, to make life coaching available to anyone and everyone who regardless of socioeconomic background. So essentially, make coaching easily accessible for people who can't afford it. What's going on at the moment is very real and very like I don't think you'll hear many founders or people like that talk about these kinds of problems. So let me give you a bit of background. So in my other businesses, okay, and for those of my subscribers, I like you guys, but for those of my subscribers who have already seen a load of my content, you'll know this stuff, but this is for anyone new. So my other businesses are Skyline Fire Stopping, which is a fire stopping business. So we do like passive fire protection in buildings, mostly around London, work with developers. Four Strings Property, which is a property development company, which is very much in its early years, and that's more of an investment business. And then my coaching business, Tom Ford Coaching. I do events. I don't really do one-to-one coaching anymore. It's very difficult and not really in line with my personality because I'm not very good at schedules. But I do quarterly events, and I've just finished my first book. I also do speaking as well, so I'll go into businesses and do some speaking stuff like that. So again, a very small piece of the pie, but it is a piece of the pie, right? The reason that I'm mentioning those businesses is because it does tie into where I'm at with in this week's Founders Field Notes, which is money, like money problems, man. I am being plagued by money problems this year. And I don't mean money problems as in making enough money. That isn't the problem. The problem is getting hold of my money and also spending, like where the money goes once it comes in. In the past, I definitely made a lot of money and I definitely spent it, right? As soon as money started coming in, I bought nice cars, I bought nice motorbikes, I bought nice watches, I went on really nice trips, I flew first class, and I, on a whim, would just go on holiday, right? Then I looked at my spending and how much I paid myself and where it had gone and was like, oh my God, I can't do that, right? Well, you can do it, but it's very wasteful. And now I try to be more sensible, right? So I try to invest a lot of the money that I make and earn into the businesses. Why does this matter to Life Coach AI? Well, it matters because obviously we're self-funded right now. So we are paying for the MVP or the prototype. We don't have any investors. We are the investors. So I have to use my money that I earn from my other businesses to fund this new business. The problem is that because customers don't pay on time, now I'm delayed with Life Coach AI. So the MVP is ready. I've got the app. I'm using the app. The beta group is ready, but I can't furnish them with the app because we haven't paid the bill yet. My business partner has got his share of the money ready. I don't have mine. I am owed tens of thousands of pounds right now, and no one is paying on time. That then causes cash flow problems, which means that I'm constantly sort of like firefighting with money. Because I've got payroll, I've got like insurances, certifications, or the cost of running businesses. You've heard me talk about this before, but it can be astronomical, right? So this is the kind of the problem I'm in. We've spoken to the developer and we've said, look, Can you give us until the end of the month? And they've said, yeah, that's totally cool. Because obviously, when you owe someone money, the worst thing you can do is not communicate with them. So, I had this conversation with Kirk. I was like, look, I think we just need to tell them that we have a short-term cash flow problem, and see what they say. And they were cool with it, right? So that's the plan. But the problem I've got is that the beta group are still waiting. They want the app. They want to get going. I want them to get going. Nothing can really happen until it happens. I don't want to give people the app yet, because if the payment was delayed even further, then the developer has every right to say, well, look, we're cutting the app. Headache, right? Absolute headache. But, essentially what's really frustrating about it is that it's money that I've already earned, but it's just not come to me yet. And as soon as it comes to me, it's just gone somewhere else. I am just a conduit that cash flows through. This is what it's like. I realize these are first world problems. Yesterday, just pulling the curtain back a little bit, yesterday I was very down in the dumps about it. I felt very negative. I was like, oh, it's not working, yada, yada, yada. And then I had to remind myself, I had to go look at the accounts again and realize that actually I'm not, like, I have money. It's just in the wrong account right now. It's in the customer's account, not mine. So, and then with that comes the other problems, which is that as soon as you're owed the money, then the customers stall and they start asking for other things. Can you send this? Can you send that? Can you send a breakdown? Can you do that? It's very tricky, the construction game. Anyway, aside from that, what's going on with Life Coach AI is we're still just honing it a little bit. Just like the responses that the AI is giving is a little bit wordy. But I think this is part of the problem with doing a project like this, is that you constantly want to improve it, but realistically you can't. There has to be a point where you just get it out there, right? Another issue that I'm facing, not issue, but another experience I'm having, which is quite an interesting one that I thought I'd talk about, is my general lack of engagement and audience. I had no social media presence from until the start of 2024. Okay. And then that was when I first launched the coaching business. And I was like, you know what? I could really use like some social media so that I can generate some audience customers. And I started hitting it pretty hard from that point. I invested in some content creation help from Hunt Visuals. So I'm paying for that. And I consistently post like 2 to 3 times a week, and even more now. Like I'm posting almost daily now and twice a week on YouTube. So, and you would have seen me start posting on YouTube from January this year. And I've been consistent, right? Consistently posting. And my results are not good. From consistently posting on Instagram, I still have less than 1,000 followers. A general post will get 5 to 15 likes, very low comments, so very low engagement. If I put a story up, like I'll put stories up regularly, I'll always have stories going up, and I get about 100 to 120 views on those. Again, very low engagement. I get a lot of DMs, a lot of people reaching out to me and messaging me via Instagram, but generally very, very, very low engagement, like very poor results for the amount of effort I'm putting in, you could say. The same with YouTube. I've had big results, like I did the Land Rover video, 13,000 views, right? But generally, recently, the videos that go up, 60 views, maybe 100 views, that to most people is very, very low. And I'm not an idiot, right? I get it slow. But this is the point that every content creator, founder has been in, and you have to be prepared to be in for a long time. No one's watching. And when I say that, I don't mean no one, because obviously if you're watching this, I appreciate you. It's like, it doesn't go, I don't see those views and think, oh God, it's not working. But I think a lot of people expect constant growth, and it just doesn't happen, man. Like, in fact, what's happening is I had some growth and then it's kind of like dipped and I'm getting less than I was previously. Now, is that because the content I'm putting out isn't strong enough, isn't engaging enough, isn't talking about the right things? I don't know, you can only really be yourself, right? Or authentic. You can only ever give the real version of what's going on. I can't come on here and sort of, you know, start talking shit and do you know, I'm not gonna do that anyway. So I'm in that kind of issue as well. I've got this great business and I just like not enough audience. I've got one of my masterminds at the end of this month, right? And the last mastermind had like 20 to 25 attendees. This is the biggest one I've done. I put out this one and low uptake. Yeah, and it's just so standard, right? You're just kind of like, you're constantly fighting it. And part of me goes, oh, I should just stop doing this. But that's kind of the trap, right? When nothing's happening, you should just carry on. At least this is what I'm telling myself. So these are the problems I'm facing at the moment. Trying to get hold of money so that I can fund my startup, and trying to get like eyeballs and people to give a shit, because essentially no one gives a shit. My gut feeling is just to keep going, and at some point it'll start to gain momentum, hopefully. And it might not be for 6 months, it might not be for another year, I don't know, but you got to be cool with that, right? I'm kind of cool with it. I'm just consistently doing the same thing and not overly worried about the results right now. I'm not worried about outputs. I'm thinking about inputs. So anyway, that's where it is. I think that's about 10 minutes. Not going to waffle on too much. Let me know if this is of any interest to you. Let me know if you've had any of these kinds of problems. Let me know in the comment box below. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. I drop 2 videos every week, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be on Sunday. Thanks, guys.